servant, what business do you have in our court?
If it please you, I would again beg a boon that you elevate my squire, Lordship John, to the accolade of knighthood.
It is a right proper thing, and it shall be yours.
Some members of our most noble order of the chivalry.
Knights and masters of arms of the society, present yourselves before their majesties.
Sirs, is it your judgment that John should be numbered among the most noble order?
Aye.
Call forth the candidate.
Their majesties summon Jean du Malchance into their court. Thus is a candidate for knighthood dressed when he sits his vigil. New fair white linens symbolize that a knight must maintain himself clean and unstained in virtue. The scarlet tunic stands for the willingness of a knight to shed his blood in service to the crown and society. Black hose reminds a knight of death and the earth from which all alike are born and to which he shall return to keep him from falling into pride.
Is there a royal peer to attest to John's qualities as a peer?
Aye, Sir Lee Hawkinson. John, I've known many years. One thing that comes to mind is chivalry. This man has spent time defending others, taking care of other people, doing right by them. I'm not a man of many words.
He's all right for like
This is right.
Is there a master or mistress of the Pelican to attest to his service?
There is. I am Baron Master Abelard de Elster, and I speak to Jean's service. We did an event in Carantirth, and Jean was responsible for the troll, the gate, and he wanted to do something to make it a more memorable experience for everyone entering the event. And he took it upon himself to build a Viking longboat to be the gate. Everyone who entered the event commented on the fact that they walked up and, hey, look, here's a longboat. He did this on his own. He did this because he looked at what we had, which was a card table, essentially, and said, we need something better. We need something nicer. We need something. And as an act of service, unasked, he built this thing, which was amazing. And also took a long time to take apart. But he did that too, as an act of service. Also, he put it together, which is also an act of... Anyway. Jean performs service as a peer.
Is there a master or mistress of the laurel to attest to Jean's talents?
I am Mistress Baroness Ava of Greenfield, and I would speak to John's talent and skills. I've known John both as a friend and as his Baroness, and I can say that John has many diverse skills. John makes much of his own garb. John makes beautiful pottery. And John is both a brewer and a vintner. And in addition to that, he is a combat brewer. We had an event where he was brewing in between each of the bouts of combat. He would run and check on what he was making. So he is our only combat brewer in the barony. Jean is a friend. He shares wisdom and he teaches what he knows. He is my peer.
Was there a member of the populace who could speak to John's qualities as a peer?
Your Majesty, not a member of your populace. However, for many years I am Sir Wilhelm von Zweikup Vegan Falco, Order of the Pelican, Knight, Western Knight of the SCA. Years ago, as Baron of Darkwood, this man was one of my huskarls. Constantly, after he had moved out of the barony and out of the West, we would come to an event, a foreign event, and somebody would go, "Was John here yet?" We would look around, and yes, he was here. He was a stalwart individual in my barony. He was a stalwart individual in our principality and a stalwart individual in the Kingdom of the West. He is and will very soon be a brother to all of us here and well worth the accolade that he is about to receive. Thank you, Your Majesty.
John, right mindful of your prowess on the field and responsive to your wishes of your peers, we are minded to
make you a knight.
Know that to wear the gold spurs of a knight is to hold a sacred trust, that the obligations of knighthood will demand your efforts every moment of your life.
Hear the words of illustrious knights on what it is to be a knight. It is the office of a knight to support and defend his temporal lord. It is the office of the knight to maintain the land.
A knight must love his kingdom and fulfill most faithfully his feudal duties.
Knights are not raised up to have great periods of rest, nor great pleasures, nor great delights, but to endure more and to strive harder than any of the others.
A knight must be generous, countering the natural tendency towards gluttony.
A knight has the will to be of high merit, indeed has been of high merit, and strives to be the utmost to be of high merit until death.
A knight must have the courage to sacrifice for the precepts and people he values.
Just as chivalry gives all that pertains to the knight, so the knight must give all of his strength to honor chivalry.
A knight must have faith in his beliefs while never diminishing the beliefs of others.
Although the practice of arms is hard, stressful, and perilous to endure, it seems to the true knight that strength of purpose and cheerfulness of heart makes it possible to bear all these things gladly and confidently.
A knight must seek excellence in all endeavors, martial and otherwise, seeking strength to be used in the service of justice, not for their own good, but for the good of all.
It behooves a knight to be a lover of the common good, since knighthood was established for the community of the people, and the common good is greater and more necessary than the personal good.
A knight must remain loyal to the people and the ideals he chooses to live by.
A knight speaks of the achievements of others, but not his own, and is not envious of others.
A
knight values the contributions of others, according them the renown rightfully earned. Showing favor to good men, loyalty, truth, valor, true largesse, honesty, humility, piety, and other things similar to these pertain to the knight.
A knight must recognize that the sword of justice can be a terrible thing, so humanity and mercy must temper it.
If you become a knight, you receive the honor and the life of service that devolve upon the friends of chivalry. And the nobler your lineage, the more obliged you are to be good and agreeable to the faith and to the people.
A knight recognizes that true nobility arises from the journey and not the destination.
Seek to emulate all of this as sincerely as possible, not for personal gain, but because it is right. Do not restrict your exploration to a small world, but seek to infuse every aspect of your life with these qualities. Should you succeed in even a tiny measure, then you will be well remembered for your quality and virtue. Knowing all this, do you desire to accept elevation into this order?
I do.
Then swear fealty to the crown of Northshield.
Je jure fidélité ici rendre hommage à la couronne de Northshield, d'être toujours un bon chevalier et vrai, respectueux et généreux, bouclier de la faible, obéissant à mon suzerain. Avant tout temps de bataille, courtois à tout moment, champion du droit et du bon, donc je joue Jean de Malchance.
We accept your gifts of fealty and homage, and will rely on you to advise us wisely. As you light the way for Northshield with honor and charity, we will act toward you respectively in all things, protecting you with our aid and rewarding you with our love. But may all your strength fail, and the world turn against any who should break this solemn oath. It is appropriate that the crown give gifts to a new knight. Have these so that you may uphold your new station. Is there a bell?
If I may. As a knight receives gifts, so should he give them to heralds and kings of arms, to fair maidens and noble ladies, and to all faithful vassals. If I may give my gifts first, to you, my queen, made from my own hand, to my good knight, not made from my own hand. And to my lady, who made me the man I am, the peer I wish to be. It was her words and her inspiration that helped me go the extra step to make me who I am, to be recognized by those who will soon be my peers. I thank you all for recognizing me, and in doing so, you recognize my peers. I give you this gift of needlecraft sundries, as you so often give me the results of that craft. Each night was kidnapped.
And alternately, the English and the French. And there was one.
Wow. The missing French knight.
course, as you can see where you come from. Inside. Of course, there's the This was actually
That's right. You can only say, ha ha! I will be sure to thank her. That was awesome.
As a knight, I'm sure you will be thirsty and anticipate first. I am a new knight. Want to see my new shiny chain, new shiny belt, new shiny sword?
Potters have a mark that they implant. Either that or you write your name out, which is tedious. So there is the weasel and Sir Frenchie. A ring with the griffin and the order. This symbolizes the Order of the Star, which was one of the first noble chivalric orders. They didn't last long. Their career wasn't very successful, but they were well known for the few years they were around. Afterwards, you must all come and look at a 14th century spur with a buckle still on. Excellent. Am I not one of the luckiest men in the known world?
Bring forth the belt.
The belt is given to the knight to signify that he must reign in his body and steadfastly hold it pure and good, free from lechery, sloth, and gluttony, lest he be shamed and dishonored.
This belt has history. I wish to return it to my knight so that that history and the lineage from which it came can be preserved.
Bring forth the surcoat.
The blazon on the shield, pennon, and surcoat is given to the knight so that he may be praised for the valorous deeds that he performs and the blows he delivers in battle. And if he is cowardly, weak, or recreant, the blazon is given to him so that he may be censured and reprimanded. And since the blazon is given to the knight so that it shall be known whether he is a friend or foe of chivalry, every knight must therefore honor his blazon so as to guard himself against censure.
forth the sword which will be borne in service to the crown.
Unto the knight is given a sword which is made in the shape of a cross, to signify that the knight must vanquish and destroy the enemies of the faith with the sword. And since the sword is double-edged, and chivalry exists in order to uphold justice, and justice means giving to each one his right, therefore the knight's sword signifies that he should uphold chivalry and justice with the sword, guarding the poor against the rich, and upholding the weak against the strong.
Bring forth the spurs.
Spurs are given to the knight to signify diligence, expertise, and zeal with which he professes the honor of his order. For just as with spurs the knight pricks his horse so that it hurries and runs as swiftly as it can, so diligence hastens the things that it is fitting to hasten. And expertise makes a man guard against being taken by surprise, and zeal yields the harness and provisions that are essential for the order of chivalry.
Something, humility, something.
Bring forth the cloak.
Shamefastness, or fear of shame. These arms ensure that all might know this knight from afar, and judge him fair or foul. To ensure obedience to the order of knighthood. It symbolizes these hardships in travel that a knight will suffer foremost in battle, and always place his body between the kingdom and her foes, just as the cloak receives any blows, rain, or an insult before the armor or the body of the knight.
Bring forth the spear.
The spear is given to the knight to signify truth, for the truth is straight and does not bend, and the truth goes before falsehood. And the spearhood signifies the power of truth has over falsehood, and the pennon signifies that truth reveals itself to all and does all it can against falsehood and deceit.
Bring forth the shield.
knight to signify his office. For just as the knight puts his shield between himself and his enemy, so the knight stands in the middle between the king and his people. Just as the blow strikes the shield before the knight's body, so the knight must place his body in front of his lord if anyone tries to capture or wound him.
Candidate has been invested with trappings of the office to knighthood. Bring forth the chain which will bind him to his oath of fealty.
This is the legacy chain of the Knights of Northshield, first worn by Gunther, worn by every knight in turn, through myself, Zadok, and Toramasa. As Toramasa could not be here.
The chain is of gold, purest of the metals, to signify the purity of the chain of fealty, which binds the knight and his sovereigns to one another. The chain is heavy, to symbolize and remind the knight of the heavy responsibility he bears. The chain is strong and runs round the neck, signifying obedience to the commands of his sovereign and the order. The chain is the unique symbol of the Knights of the Society for Creative Anachronism, and as such is the badge of this order, just as our forefathers have used the fleece, the garter, the star, and the cross to signify knightly orders. Pray, let your behavior and deeds charge this symbol with as great a reverence and respect as the symbols of our forebears.
Thou, good knight. Rise, Sir John. Newest knight of the Griffin Kingdom of Northshield, John de Malchance. Vivat!